perform our wax service, which means we're gonna be chemically draped. When my proctor tells me that I may begin, there's a few things that have to happen, and they have to happen in a specific order. This is the only part of your test that has to happen in a specific order. So one of the first things that has to happen is I have to remove this drape and I have to throw it away. I sanitize my hands. I sanitize my station, my chair, and my hands. And then I can open up my kit and pull out my haircut bag. From there, I have to immediately drape her for a haircut and then give her a scalp analysis. So I'm gonna go through that first, all right? So she says, you may begin. I'm gonna remove her cape. So I remove everything, just like this. I'm not even gonna, worry about it because I'm gonna literally be throwing this away. I would take it and I would throw it away in my trash bag. And then I would sanitize my hands. Okay, station, chair, and my hands. Okay, now I would open up my kit, reach in, grab my hair cutting bag, close it back. Immediately I have to drape her from here forward. Okay, I'm gonna take these little ends and I'm gonna kind of tuck them under because sometimes they get in the way, right? When we're cutting hair. Now, one of the things that we have to make sure that we keep on is her cape, because one of my points is to ensure that my drape stays intact, right? That it stays on. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go ahead and put it on. And the drape is just a little bit big on her, and that's okay. But we do have our table that's kind of helping us out to kind of keep that on her. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of tuck that in. I'm gonna pull the rest of the things out of my kit that are in here. You're gonna have 4 clips in yours. You'll have more than 1 comb. You'll have your scissors and your razor, okay? So I like to just set those out kind of neatly in front of me. And I wanna take my service bag and my rubber band, and I'm gonna throw those both away, okay? I'm just gonna pretend to throw them away, thank you. I'm gonna sanitize my hands, okay? Now, right away, I've draped her, she's good to go, and I have to also perform a scalp analysis on her, okay? So I'm gonna come in here, and how I do that is I take my comb, and I'm going to start by parting down the middle and pinching and separating. I'm acting like I'm literally looking for bugs. Okay, so I'm gonna come all the way down, part, pinch, and separate to the nape. Then I'm gonna go ear to ear, part, pinch, and separate over the ear. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, part, pinch, separate over the ear, part, pinch, separate over the ear. And I'm gonna do it one more time. Part, pinch, and separate, because I'm acting like I'm actively looking at her scalp. I'm performing a scalp analysis. I'm acting like I'm looking for abrasions or lice or whatever would keep me from performing this service, okay? All right, so there's that. Now, after I've done that, I wanna immediately start wetting her because I have to get her wet as uniformly as possible with the spray bottle, which can be really, really challenging because, again, she's brand new. She's never been cut before, so she has longer hair. I wanna make sure that I get it as uniform as possible, and I only have 42 minutes to do that. Within the first 2 to 3 minutes of your service, you should be done with your scalp analysis, your drape change, and your sanitation. All that stuff that you have to do in the beginning, you should be done within that first 2 to 3 minutes. That gives you about 40 to 39 minutes to do your haircut, to do any sanitation that comes with that, sweeping up your station, and then closing again with sanitation. Does that make sense? So it is a very, very timed situation. And I like to make sure that my students understand that from here forward is when you don't want to take your time. So the first 5 services, we took our time, right? Now we gotta move. Okay, very first thing I want to do is I want to section out a guide that's gonna come from the front hairline to just below the crown, and it's about 1 inch wide. Sorry, that's hard to say. 1 inch wide, and I'm gonna come just below the crown. So here's my 1 inch by 1 inch guide. Okay, just below the crown. Y'all see that? So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna go ahead and just I'm gonna clip it away. Now I'm gonna take the rest of this and I'm gonna clip it up. I'm gonna do my best to kind of tuck my ends in. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you also don't want it to look like, you know, you didn't really try. You don't have a whole lot of time, but again, you wanna make sure that you tuck those ends in. So I'm gonna utilize these 3 clips and clip these down in the front. I'm gonna go ahead and let my guide go. And in the back, I would have 2 quadrants back here in the back. So I would have one over here on one side and one on the other. And I'm gonna go ahead and just clip one of them up. So again, I'm gonna do this with 3 clips. You'll have at least 4. If you want more in there, you can add a 5th one. Does everybody understand that? So if I had 5 clips, I would have 5 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 would be my guide. But I'm cool. I'm gonna just leave it down. Now the first thing I wanna do is I actually wanna cut my guide. I'm gonna split my guide from ear to ear back. What does that mean? If I had this line keep going right here, I'd have a guide that I could use for the top and a guide that I can use for the back. Does that make sense to you? So I've split that up in half. All right, now I'm going to actually cut my guide. So I'm gonna come over to her right side. And what I like to tell my students is if I'm holding my scissors and I can stab her, I'm going in the right direction. We've done this before, but I'm making it even more simple because you would never, ever do this haircut on somebody. It is a terrible haircut, but it's perfect to demonstrate what you need to demonstrate for state board. You understand? So we're doing long layers. I'm gonna come in, I'm standing on her right side. I'm only gonna take about 1/4 inch today. The day that you test, you're gonna take 3 inches. And the reason why we take 3 inches is because we have to take at least 1 inch. And I wanna make sure that you get well within that 1 inch. Also, you have to do a curling iron demo with really long hair. And I don't want it to be extremely long. I want it to be short enough to where you can actually manipulate that curling iron later on. So we're thinking about ourselves later on, okay? So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go ahead and split that out. I'm gonna finish my mohawk, my guide, okay? Find my guide that I cut earlier and cut to it. Let me make sure I can see it. Also, if you don't remember, when you have a brand new mannequin, where is she the longest? In the front. So we want to get rid of a lot of that length ahead of time. Okay, so now I have my guide for the entire haircut. I'm going to, again, split this down, comb that down, and I'm going to go ahead and begin cutting her hair. I'm going to cut her right quadrant first, which is this one. And how I do that is I can switch this clip to the back if I want to. I'm going to drop this down, put my guide aside, and I'm going to have 2 subsections for this quadrant, 2. I'm going to split it right there. Okay. I'm going to go stand on the opposite side. Because I stand on the opposite side. You can sit down right here. Because I stand on the opposite side that I'm cutting. Can you see, Brie?
Yeah, I just didn't see the last parts you did.
So I split this in half. This is 2 subsections. I split this in half. That's the last thing I did, okay? Now, I'm gonna stand on the opposite side because we stand on the opposite side that we cut. Now, the only thing that's gonna be annoying for you is you're not used to having this counter digging in your hip, right? So you gotta kind of press up on it and get as close as you can to the side as possible. I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna find my guide and I'm gonna cut to my guide. Keeping in mind that I don't cut past my 2nd knuckle, okay?
Will they take points off for that?
They can if they want to, because that's not safe. So just be mindful of it. Another thing that you want to be mindful of is, what am I doing with my palm? Palming it, right? If you don't palm your scissors, you could get marked off the entire time you're cutting this hair. You have to palm your scissors. All right, so I'm going to take the rest of this quadrant up. All of it's coming with me. I'm going to bring it all the way up. Find my guide and I'm going to cut to it. Okay, there's my guide. You may not have anything to cut. I still want you to go through the motion. Okay, there's that quadrant. Now, I'm going to find my guide again.
Teachers, at this time, close your doors. Thank you.
Comb this hair down because I don't need it anymore. Already cut it. And now, this quadrant comes down. Take my clip down, drop it on the station. I'm gonna section this out into how many subsections? Two subsections. Split it. Bring it up with my guide. Do the same thing on this side, for those of you who can't see me over there. Find my guide. I'm digging into this table. Cut to my second knuckle. Okay. Last subsection comes up. How many subsections again? Two. That's it. We're not going to make this elaborate, long, like, wonderful experience for our mannequin because we are timed. And we only have 42 minutes to do everything. Everything. So we're going to come up, look for our guide. We don't really have anything to cut. We're still going to go through the motion. Good. We're done technically with our front two quadrants. If I wanted to, I could take this and I could clip it away. It's totally your call. If you feel like you need to, please do so. Okay, I'm going to comb this down. Comb it out of her face. Let's just say I want to clip it away. I'm going to clip it away because I'm done with that. I don't need it anymore. Okay. So I'm working in her back right quadrant next. And now my subsections are going to be coming vertically to the occipital. Y'all remember that? How many subsections do you think are back here? Two. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to split this in two to my occipital area. And I'm going to comb this up. It is the easiest haircut you'll ever do, but the ugliest. Straight up. Look for my guide. There it is. I cut to it. Okay. Take my last subsection up to my occipital bone. Okay. Any questions so far? All right, so now I'm gonna make sure that I have my guide with me. I'm gonna comb this hair over. If I wanted to, this bothers me, I can clip it away because I'm done with it. Again, totally up to you. I'm gonna take my first subsection down. How many subsections do I have? Two. I'm gonna pick this up, add it into my guide. Everything comes to the center. So do you understand Crystal's question?
Yes.
She said, wait, I thought we traveled the head. We did travel the head for the alternate long layers where we had a traveling guide. This one is a stationary guide. So this one's actually easier. So I'm gonna come here, look for my guide, cut to my guide. Cut to my guide. Good. Last subsection comes down to my occipital bone. Comb all this hair up. One thing that you want to be really careful of when you're doing this haircut is that she's on that stand nice and stable. Okay, come straight up, look for my guide, cut to my guide. Good, I'm done now. All I want to do is demonstrate that I know how to cross-check before I move on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull her up. I'm going to pull just a very, very small amount of hair here. And guys, when you pull this up, it may look horrible, but you go on like it looks like the best thing you've ever seen in your entire life.
Are they gonna be grading like on what it looks like?
No. Pull it up. Oh, so fabulous. That's so amazing. So now I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna put them down. I'm gonna take my water bottle. I'm gonna go ahead and comb all of this hair back because I wanna make sure that number one, it's all uniform and going in the same direction. And number two, I need to get ready to spray it down again because I'm about to use my razor. We absolutely never, ever, ever, ever cut dry hair with a razor. That's why it's so important that you re-wet this hair, okay? So I'm gonna pick my razor up. Now, there's a few ways that you can hold your razor. You can hold your razor this way, right? If you wanted to. Or you can hold it the even easier way where you bend your fingers this way. This is the way I recommend holding it if you are not used to using it. Okay, so I'm gonna show you one more time. Are you watching? This way or this way. This is the most user-friendly way, okay? This is how we're gonna do it for our test, all right? So I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna cut this at a 1 length. I don't want you to think about it forever and ever because if you sit here and overanalyze using this razor, you're gonna be here all the live long day trying to use it. All I want you to do is go center right, center left. I'm gonna come straight across down here and I'm gonna come in right in the center and I'm gonna cut. See that hair? Knock it off, come down again, and I'm gonna go center right, center left. You are not, so there's center. I'm gonna come around the right side. Okay, I'm just knocking the hair off. You see how I'm knocking it off? It's gonna feel weird because you're not used to doing it. Okay, center right. Now I'm gonna go center left. Starting here. I know the razor's funny, huh?
No, I was like licking my lid and then Laurel gets down with the camera and I know I'm in the view of that, so I had to stop.
Okay, there we go. Notice I'm knocking my hair off each time I cut on my fingers. And I'm also taking this like a normal one length. I'm not picking up the hair all weird and then I'm still combing it in between my fingers as if I was using my scissors. Guys, it doesn't have to be awkward. Okay? You need to get comfortable with all of your tools at some point.
Who was Angie? Angie. Oh, that's our Angie? Wait, can I answer? Oh, she's calling.
Okay, but hold on. All right? Now, I'm going to put this down, and I have to check for balance. So I'm going to come in, and this is literally what I'm going to do. Watch. Real quick. I know you're excited. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to go like this. And that's it. So I would check for my balance. So I would take my tools. I would throw those away in the trash. They would go in my trash can. I would sanitize my hands. Then I would make sure that I got all my hair off. You can use a paper towel to do that. So I'm gonna get all my hair off my station, all my hair off of her, whatever I need to do to get it off, I'm gonna get it off, okay, off the station. I would also throw that away, sanitize my hands. Now I have to go and get the broom. So there's gonna be a broom and a dustpan in your testing room. So I'm gonna get my broom and my dustpan, and I'm going to sweep up my hair, okay? So I sweep up my hair. You've been using water on the mantle.
Okay, guys, obviously they're saying like, are they gonna make that like a big deal?
No.
Because like, safe for you.
Okay, so we're gonna do our best to get all our hair up, all the things, okay? Remember, we're still being timed right now. So I'm gonna get this hair up to the best of my ability. If it doesn't look beautiful, that's okay. We'll come back and sweep it again. I'm gonna put my dustpan back in the corner that I find it. I've thrown something away. I threw it in a trash can. You're also gonna have a trash can that day with a lid, okay? So I have to come back and sanitize my hands because I threw something away.
So the hair does not go in your little trash.
No. Then I'm gonna sanitize my station, my chair. Wipe that down. Sanitize my hands. Step back, and I raise my hand.